Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. I'm your host, Dave Kosminski, and we have a special guest, in the studio, a member of the Snyder Civil Engineering staff, Mr. Stone Foster. How you doing, Stone?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Fantastic. All right. Thanks for coming down. I appreciate it. And again, this is kind of just telling a story on and letting students know what the possible careers under that big water umbrella. So tell us about your day job. How did you get into it?
Yeah, you got it. I'll start with how I got into it.
Okay.
My father, he worked with Avon Water for 10, 15 years.
Okay.
Been in the water world for as long as I've the pleasure of listening to him over the years, and got me into a job surveying, local guy in Connecticut. Did that for a few years, was able to kind of work around construction sites, get used to kind of how that is, and I figured, the site work appealed to me, so I wanted to explore that. And talking to my dad, getting into college, I was like, what do I do? I had no idea, and he said, get into engineering. You'll figure it out after, and progressed through the classes, found that water was a little more intriguing, the infrastructure of it, site work. Had the pleasure of meeting Don Snyder at a career fair, and called me that day, got into it with him, and just started getting involved. As far as the day-to-day, all construction, potable water distribution systems, pump stations, PRVs, get to work with a great team to design them, and then implement them and watch them be constructed, which is my favorite part of it. Very fortunate now to be in a position where, managing multiple projects, working with great people, have guys on site,
right,
and just kind of managing the all ends of that portion. So mainly construction.
Nice. Nice. Now, your dad worked for Avon Water, so he must have worked with Bob Usneski for years. Bob is an old member of the Connecticut section. Worked with Bob for many years. Great guy.
Yep.
And so forth. So how did he get into the industry? This is rolling back the calendar just a little bit.
I think almost the same thing. He's always been a hands-on guy.
Okay.
I think it's one of those things he just kind of fell into and fell in love with.
Yep.
I do believe he did a little stint at a wastewater treatment plant.
Okay.
Obviously with Avon Water, and he's now with the town Avon, managing their sewer pump stations. So I'll have to ask him about the full origin story.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. It's amazing how all the dots connect.
Yeah.
The threads.
I wish I paid attention more too. He'd bring me after school to a station, and I'd be teenagers sitting there on the phone, and not paying attention. Wish I did a little bit more, but very cool.
And
very cool.
So going back to your high school years, what was your ambition? Picking out your career path in high school. Did you have any clue, or just?
I work. It was, if you're gonna do anything, just make sure you have a job. You're working hard, and it was instilled in me very early on. I love to work. I love getting the rewards of it. Meeting people was always my favorite. Meeting good people, that can always progress you. That's how I got into surveying. Friend of a friend.
So your title with Snyder is what now?
Project engineer.
Project engineer. Yep. Okay. So, obviously you guys, Donnie has gotten into the construction side, and that's kind of been a portion of the businesses that has blossomed in the last few years as far as that goes. So you've got your own construction division and your own engineering division. So, I know for the most part, what projects are you working on now?
I have a few right now in the New Fairfield area, mainly pump stations.
Okay.
Larger facility in Brookfield, all fire flow designed, so larger pumps and domestic pumps. But mainly pump stations. I got a small PRV in Ridgefield, precast vault, all the fixings just kind of drop in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, primarily the systems that you service, are they surface water, groundwater, or what?
Groundwater.
Groundwater. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Good. I think from a standpoint of disinfection and so forth, I think obviously the groundwater supplies are least a little less cumbersome as far as in relation to regulations.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't, with surface water that, you need a filtration plant, and so forth. And groundwater, it's a little bit more easier to control, depending on the water quality and so forth. Now, as far as the testings, now, obviously you put test wells in, you do your pump tests, as far as, what your yield is going to be, and then your water quality. So depending on what the water quality now, what issues that you've been having to design around, iron, manganese, or what?
Yeah, big one right now is PFAS.
Okay. Yes.
Yep, it's going around all over.
The forever chemical.
Yep, exactly. So that's been very exciting. Got to first hear about it before last year's ACCAVE convention, and there was a lot of great seminars on it and how other towns, states have addressed it, and fortunate enough to be working on a lot of the first projects that we've been working on with it and understanding that treatment process, and it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. I mean, what have you been coming up with solutions as far as? Can you let us know some of the solutions that you've been coming up with?
Yeah, the main one is designing around a media-based vessel. Okay. So pretty much attacking the PFAS prior to the main disinfection, whether that be uranium or sodium hypo. Okay. But yeah, media-based vessels, pretty large as well. I know there's one facility in New Fairfield we're working on that's maybe combined 20 GPM, and vessels themselves are close to 36-inch, 48-inch diameter. So it's
those are large.
Yeah, it's quite large for small systems.
So what size wells have you been dealing with? 6-inch, 8-inch, 12-inch, what?
6 and 8.
6 and 8.
Yeah. Did 112 a few years ago, but mainly smaller. Yeah. Small diameter. Yeah.
Yeah, we're dealing. We just obviously in Portland, if you're familiar with it, we just found 2 water sources, which is basically out by our new recreation park. So we got 2 good sources out there. So now we're in the design process of number one, getting the pump station built. Number 2 is basically working on water quality issues, and number 3 obviously is getting it into the system.
Absolutely.
Fortunately, it's right near our Route 17 pipeline, so it's not going to be a huge issue. But just add money and stir.
Yep. Stir like that.
That's as far as that goes. So exactly. So getting out of high school, where did you attend college?
I went to Central Connecticut State over in New Britain.
Yeah, the Blue Devils.
Blue Devils.
Yep. There you
Loved
go.
it there. Great program. They really, you get the great one-on-one with your professors, which I really enjoyed. I was hesitant going into it, but tons of family in Connecticut, wanted to stay local. It's affordable, which was nice, and they really set us up well.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, do you have any operator certifications as far as that goes? Or?
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. Is that something that's going to be in the future as far as that goes, or?
Future right now is getting the PE. That's the main focus.
Yes.
I've put it on hold for a little too long. I had a few things come up, addressed them first, but the goal this year is to really focus on the PE.
Get the PE. So how far along are you on that process?
I got the books.
You got
the books.
Well, that's half the battle.
Yeah.
The other half is showing up.
Showing up, exactly. I've heard it's changed a lot. You know, part of the great thing with Central is they do require you take the FE before graduation.
Yeah.
But that was however many years ago.
Sure.
So I've heard it's changed, a little more electronic. Certain subjects may change. So take some time to get back into the study part. But
I've been in the industry 50 years. I just retired after 50 years with the town of Portland. But, it's amazing how, technology has changed in those 50 years. I mean, you've got, obviously the treatment process has been defined. You've got SCADA, you've got all kinds of technology that's out there that we didn't have, when I started. We were on paper, pencil, line cards and all this stuff. Now you got GIS, you've got, you got SCADA. So, and all of that is, obviously making the industry more efficient. But on the same token, it kind of makes it more complicated. And, from a standpoint of, younger people getting into it, it's there's a lot of technology that goes along with that, And now, obviously, with all of the cyber inferences that are out there today, there's people out there trying to hack into your system and whatever.
Absolutely.
So it's something that you have to be aware of and design around, as far as that goes. So, awesome. Fantastic. So how long have you been with Snyder?
I've been with them just about a little over 5 years now,
Okay.
full time. I started with them part time my senior year of college, and then moved to full time once I graduated.
Okay, you're up at 595 Main Street?
595. Yep.
All right, yeah. Yeah, he's done a lot with that building.
Oh,
there.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Set us up well in there. Work to get our team in there early. Get us, space that we need, nice conference room. Really have a cohesive environment, and then
Yep,
there's three stories there.
Yep.
Start renovating, get everybody else over there, and just get us all in
Yeah,
the same building. Be great.
exactly. Well, we've done quite a few. I did Mike Archer, we did Zach, and so forth, and obviously Donnie,
Yep.
and Jim Dabo, and Mr. as I call him, Mr. Fuller, Mr. Steve Melanson.
Steve Melanson.
Steve is he's been a stalwart in the industry for many, many years. Started out with Connecticut Water, and he was fortunate enough to be awarded the George Warren Fuller Award this year, which is the highest.
Well deserving.
Yes. I was fortunate enough to get that back in 2007 or something like
Wow.
that. But again, that's the testament to to the dedication to the industry and so forth. And
Great mentor as well.
Well, exactly, and
Yeah.
there isn't anything that Steve hasn't been exposed to or worked through and so forth. And he's a great people person.
Great people.
He-
Go with them with anything as well.
Exactly. And he's and it's like anybody in the industry, Donnie included, and people that are in the industry are so passionate about the industry. It's not like they're more than willing to share. They're more than willing to mentor and so forth, which is what we obviously the impetus of this podcast is trying to get the younger students involved. The average age of a water operator in Connecticut is 53 years old.
I believe it.
So it's when I say we'd have to literally start refilling the pipeline, it's true. We got the gray tsunami has hit, or in my case the Baldson, to go from there. So anyway,
yeah, it's very true. It's work with a lot of great operators. They are older by perspective, and back when they were learning, it was whatever the guy before you taught, or just sitting and watching. I think, like you mentioned, with the skating and the technology, it's a lot of the classroom. Get familiar with the technology and all that. And I think that
control systems and
Yep.
designing the control systems to do what you want it to do,
Absolutely.
and what you don't want it to do.
Yeah, don't. More importantly,
That's more importantly
Yeah.
too. Exactly. I mean, back in the day, it's just we had an alarm. Okay. You had to go in and find out, what it is, whether it's at 3 a.m. Now you can log onto your laptop and, do I need to go in? No, I maybe can do, if it's a low chlorine level, I can make that adjustment, or if it's turning a pump on or turning a pump off, you can make that adjustment,
Yep.
You can do that in your jammies.
Yeah, I remember growing up. One of my greatest memories is, very often 2, 3 in the morning, Dad's pager going off.
Yeah.
And he's out. Now he's texting me just sitting in the truck, being able to see everything on one screen. It's great.
Yes, it is.
Great, sets them up well.
Yes, it is. Yeah, fantastic. So again, if you had any advice for a high school senior or college freshman, what would you say? About the industry.
It's a great question. I really realized it once I was seeing it all in person.
Mm-hmm.
All throughout college, high school, even. Everything, you see it all on paper, you read it all sounds great, looks nice. But once you kind of see that in person, you kind of realize, whether you like this or not, what do you want to get into? And I understand, getting into, for my example, getting into surveying really early isn't common for a lot, but a job like that really allowed to understand, could I be outside for 75% of my job around construction equipment?
Sure.
And then kind of close it off, go back in the office instead of a computer. So
Yeah.
understanding that, I knew I wanted to get into it with a hybrid approach rather than, be at a desk the whole time, be able to go out and meet people. So it's a tough question.
Yeah, no, the hybrid approach is the hybrid description. That's very, very apropos because, again, there's, the water and wastewater umbrella is very large. Like I say, you kind of got in through the surveying door.
Yeah.
Okay. But there are many, many other doors that you get in, for the administrative side, from the HR stuff, the accounting side.
Oh,
I mean, it's like, wow, you get it's amazing about and the thing is these careers, okay, that we're talking about in the both water and wastewater sides, they're secure careers.
Yeah.
Okay. There's not something that you can outsource. Okay, and send it across the pond or
need
whatever.
Water.
Well, you need water. You need well, like we say in Portland, we have shipping and receiving. The shipping is the water side, the wastewater side is the receiving side. But you got and that's pretty accurate analogy. But again, when you do get into that, there's a whole lot of regulatory requirements that once you get into it, it says and explain one of those, which is one of the latest ones. Obviously, is PFAS.
Yeah.
The lead and copper rule was probably last year, and now it's evolving. Next year it could be something else, and so forth. And as the technology changes and the as far as the regulations, both from EPA and the state, okay, you've got two agencies that a lot of times aren't the best in communicating back and forth and so forth. So sometimes it's a push pull and to go from there. But that's great. So,
absolutely. I'd recommend any form of problem solving, if that's kind of just the way your brain operates, and any form of engineering is going to give you that fix.
Sure.
And I found growing up, I loved Lego when I was a kid. I love the idea of building and all that and doing what you want with that. Or there's a problem here, how would you approach it without looking, that kind of mindset, I think,
problem
really.
solving.
Yeah.
Well, it's my grandson's a Lego master. He loves Legos. When I asked my daughter, can I get Ben some more Legos? No, he's got plenty of Legos.
Yeah.
That's
what my wife tells me.
But he loves it. He'll build anything. Obviously the biggest thing with Legos now is the Harry Potter themes and so forth.
Yeah.
You buy those sets and he puts them together, and man,
it's impressive, right?
Yeah,
and it's great. It's great to see a little mind work like that.
Exactly, and it's fun, and and it's it's a stepping stone to a lot of things.
It really is.
It's a lot of things. So anyway, Stone, thanks for coming down. Obviously, my alternate life here is the music business with the music store here and so forth. So I've got what's your favorite type of music? So I usually ask these personal questions.
Yeah, type of music for me, it's got to be punk rock.
Oh, okay.
It may not be the one I listen to the most, but it's the most, warming to me.
Okay.
My older brother, big music guy, he's been in bands since he could walk, learned every instrument he wanted to, and in our house growing up, the basement was his jam area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the man
cave. Drums, he had the guitar. and every time we had Blink 182, the Paramore, Sum 41 just playing and
nice
jamming with him, listening to that was a great memory. I always resort
okay,
to it.
So if you got stuck on a desert island, what would your desert island album or couple be that you'd have to listen to?
Oh man, That's tough.
Blink 182.
It's got to be Blink. It's got to be Blink the whole way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the other desert island question I have. Okay.
Yeah.
If you got stuck on a desert island, what food could you eat every day?
Easy. New Haven style coal fire pizza, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, every day of the week.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's funny. One of our earlier guests on our music podcast is Mr. Dean Falcone, who is basically the producer of the New Haven. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a movie. It's New Haven Pizza Story.
No.
Yeah, you got to check it out.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, if you go to New Haven, you've got the big three. You've got Sally's, you've got Modern, and you've got Pepe's, and so forth. But so when he came in to do his interview with my drum teacher John, okay, he walks up the stairs and he has 3 huge Sally's pizzas. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's a great site.
It was
only thing better, which I will say, is Pepe's.
Yeah,
I gotta take Pepe's.
Well, everybody has their own preference.
It's always between the two, I feel.
Yeah, and so forth. But it's the New Haven pizza. I mean, it's known nationwide.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like whatever.
It's the best.
It's like the steamed cheeseburger that originated over in Ted's in New Britain.
Yep.
It's for that
great spot.
That little hole in the wall there with you could probably
milkshakes the size of
and thick as cement.
Very true,
sucking them through a straw.
Yeah, a spoon.
Nah, fantastic. Yeah. So, love it. I love it. Anyway, were there any concerts that you went to, growing up through college that really, stuck out and, defined you as
I got to stick with the family and go to, I remember, some of my fondest memories are young teenager going to see my brother play in some underground basement.
Nice.
The sodas that say toxic waste on them, and just seeing guys, and it just,
nice.
It's one of my fondest memories. It's got to be. And I just saw him recently at an underground spot over in Stanford. He lives in New York, but he'll come down and visit. And
nice,
a little more intimate, and it's nice to see. That's my favorite for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, well, that's great. Well, anyway, Stone, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you.
And again, my best to Donnie and all the guys up there at the farm,
yeah,
so to speak, and go from there. But I appreciate it. All right,
you got it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode, of the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. I'm your host, Dave Kosminski. Mr. Stone Foster was in the house from Snyder Civil Engineering. So, Stone, thank you so much for coming down, and say hello to the boys, and we'll catch you on the flip-flop. Thank you so much.